Hello everyone, for OneWrestling.com. Welcome to the Apter Chat. And it's rare that I get a chance to talk to one of the children of one of the greatest legends in the world, who, by the way, is one of my dearest friends in the universe. We're talking about the great Harley Race. I traveled up and down the roads with him for so many years, not only in this country, but throughout Europe and Asia. And some of the best trips and experiences of my career were with this guy's father, Leland Race. Welcome to the Apter Chat.
Thank you very much, Bill. It is a pleasure and an honor to be talking with you right now.
Well, thank you. I don't know if your dad, when you were a kid, did he show you the wrestling magazines and his pictures on the cover and on the insides of those?
I can't tell you how many magazines, how many boxes of magazines he has, and is at the academy. Where his training academy is at. There's boxes on boxes of magazines, and both Japanese and American, and so there's quite a bit of them.
Yeah, and I'm very thrilled to say that so many of the covers of the American magazines, your dad stood there and patiently posed for me from the days when we used to shoot pictures with the bathroom walls in the background and the locker rooms, to the days when we went studio and I'd be futzing around with the lights and he'd stand there so patiently say, "Do what you have to do. Just get the picture." He was always great. So tell us what. Let's start off what it was like for you as the son of Harley Race. How old were you when you realized that your dad did something differently than everybody else did?
It came at a very early age. Obviously, I can't really put a number to that question as far as how old I was, but seeing him gone pretty much every week. He would only be home for a couple days at a time, if that much. He was one of the guys, one of the top select few guys that would be going around traveling around the world because he was in such high demand. And with the NWA World's Championship, obviously he had commitments with that. And when I started getting a little bit older, right around 8 or 9, 10 years old, that's when I started putting two and two together and figuring out what he did for a living, why people loved him, why people hated him.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to really dawn on me what he did for a living.
And at that young age, was that already something in your mind, that when you started seeing videotapes of him, that this might be something that you might want to do?
That's I've always wanted to do it. He kind of kept me sheltered from it and tried to not get me going in that direction because he didn't want me to go through the leaps and the hurdles and all of the obstacles that he had to go through.
Sure. Well, it takes a toll on the family and the body.
Yeah, both. Having your dad, or if you're a lady wrestler, your mom gone for 300 plus days a year, it really does a number on you mentally.
And yet, when you were a kid and seeing what he was doing, did you get a kind of like a buzz when other people would come over to you and say, "Hey, I saw your dad wrestling the other night"?
Yeah, especially when I was in school. With the parent-teacher conferences, there would be the teachers would come up, the parents would come up, and
Can you get an autograph of your father for me, right?
Yeah, and then they had to send their kids to school with me in class, and they'd ask their kids to ask me to get my autograph of my dad to give to the kid, to give to their parents, and it was just always something that somebody wanted, but 99.9% of the time he tried his hardest to make something like that happen.
Were you confronted by some of the other kids who thought, "Hey, you're Harley Race's son, let's have a fight"?
All the time.
Yeah.
It's when he was wrestling in his era, and as you may know, it wasn't looked down upon like it is, somewhat like it is.
Well, it wasn't as entertainment value as it is today.
Exactly. It was a fight then.
Yeah.
People knew it. When I was younger, and I still try to practice it now, I was an amateur wrestler, so I was able to defend myself. I didn't have to throw punches. I just knew how to take people down through my coaches and through my dad, too, because believe it or not, he knew a lot of amateur-style wrestling.
Oh,
and,
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, and that's what helped him survive, and he taught me bits and pieces as time went on, and that kept me alive, to be honest with you.
So you said that he didn't want you to break into the business, and I assume your mom didn't either. But how did you finally convince him that? I mean, what were you doing for a living at the time you were trying to convince your dad that this is really you want to do what he does?
Yeah, I've been in professional wrestling now for 11 years, believe it or not.
Okay.
When I was 17, I had pretty much made up my mind that this is what I was going to do. Neither him nor my mom was going to stop me.
Yeah.
Nobody was.
Even if you had to go around him to get in, right?
Exactly. Now, luckily, he was able to accept it, the idea of it, and he told me, I remember that I needed to get away from the Kansas City, St. Louis, Missouri state area and go out there and learn from somebody different, because he wanted to see if I could stand on my own 2 feet and learn and adapt just like he had to do in his time. And that's what I did. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I trained under a guy named George South.
Oh, the legendary George South, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I still talk to him to this day.
Well, what's the name of his book? My Father Doesn't Work, He's a Wrestler, something like that, right?
Dad, you don't work, you wrestle.
You wrestle. Google it, by the way. Go to Amazon. It's a great book.
Good. He's a very good guy. I can honestly tell you I got more opportunities wrestling for him than any other promoter in that area, and believe me, in that area there was a lot. I was training 6 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day, every day. And
were you wrestling under the Race name at that point?
No, actually I wasn't. I was wrestling under a name, Jason Jones. I wanted to do that.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
Believe it or not. I was wrestling under that name because if, for whatever reason, I did fail, I wasn't going to be dragging down my dad and his name with him. You know, that was my and his decision. And it wasn't an order. We talked about it, and we decided that would be the best thing to go about it. And then October 2008, I moved back to Eldon, Missouri, to train at my dad as a captain. And I moved up the ranks. And last year, he gave me his blessing, and he made the decision to, all right, say, you can go ahead and use your real name. It's time for you to move up in the ranks even more.
So you're talking about 2013?
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah. So before that, you were wrestling under the Jones.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't know it, and people are still not still trying to figure it out, but they're still figuring out that Jason Jones was Leland Race, and Leland Race was Jason Jones.
That's great.
Clark Kent, Superman.
That's great. Before we move on to your next, what you did next, through all the years that you watched your dad, what did you learn most from him?
The list can go a long, long time, Bill. I don't know if you have that much time on your hand. The biggest thing in that he taught me in wrestling was to be a leader, and to be in control at all times.
Yeah.
He was notorious, not in a bullying way. There's a fine line between being a bully and being in control.
No, he was stern. I know your dad very well. So yeah.
He was, obviously you knew him and know him. And being in control of a wrestling match is a very good quality, characteristic to have about you.
Yeah.
Being the leader. And that's probably one of the most important things that he has taught me in my life. It just doesn't pertain to wrestling. It pertains to life too. That and secret tricks of the trade and things like that. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and discuss them, but he taught me how to defend myself.
Okay.
I know certain things that a lot of people don't know, and how to hurt people. And
your dad, by the way, and I know this. By the way, technically here we're losing a little bit of your head, so if you can, there you go. All right. Didn't want people to think you just have a 3/4 of a head there, but But your dad, when I was on the road with him, especially in Europe, there were guys that were afraid to say just one wrong word to him because he could be very intimidating. And not to cross this line. And if he taught you that, that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Once first time meeting him, and the first few times meeting him, he's a very intimidating person.
Yeah.
Because of what he did, and his reputation preceded him. So once you got wind of that, oh no, I'm not going to do anything to disrespect him. Once you get around him for any point in time, he's a very likable person. He's a very friendly person.
Yeah.
He'll literally give the shirt off his back for you if you needed it.
So Leland, if I remember correctly now, doing some research, how many times have you been to Japan? Because he was a legend over there too, and here you went and stepped into his boots, so to say, in Japan.
Yeah. I lived in Japan for 3 months.
Yeah.
I trained at the Pro Wrestling Noah Dojo, and that was a very, very hard thing to do. You're going over there, you're basically living the Japanese lifestyle. You're going from living the American lifestyle to living the Japanese lifestyle.
Yes.
That's a big culture shock, especially if you aren't ready for it. I thought I was, and I halfway was, but until you really get over there, you never really know. I lived over there. I trained every single day, and I was a young boy for 3 months, and that was back in 2010. And
so it didn't matter you were the son of Harley Race. You had to go through everything from the beginning.
To try and move up.
Yeah.
I went back over there January of last year, and that's the last time I went over there. Obviously, I want to go make a living over there. That's ultimately one of my humongous goals in my career, in my life, is to make a career out of traveling to Japan and becoming a top star just like my dad did.
Yeah, see, that's very interesting because so many of the guys that I interview, their goal is WWE, TNA, etc. And it's refreshing to hear that Japan is where you want to, excel at this point.
Yeah, it truthfully is. I mean, anybody who gets into professional wrestling, if they sit here and say that they never want to go to WWE, Bill, you know better than anybody. That's a lie.
Yeah. We all want to be there.
I loved Japan when I was there, and I can't explain to how much respect I can't explain to you how much respect I have for them because of what they do. It's still a sport over there. It is not a.
It's not a show. It's not more of a show.
Exactly. It's not a. It's not a viewed as a circus.
It's still back 15, 20 years ago, so to say. Like back in the old glory NWA days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still very athletic, and they believe in who's the better wrestler, and that's what I love about it.
Okay. All right. So now, tell us where your career is at this point.
Currently,
May 2014. In case somebody's watching this in May 2019.
Yeah, well, God bless them if they are. Currently, I am running World League Wrestling with my dad. That is his company. That is his baby.
And how long has World League Wrestling been in existence?
World League Wrestling has been operating since 1999.
Yeah, because we've been on OneWrestling.com. We regularly run the press releases.
And we greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody could do for us is definite plus.
Yeah.
I helped run his wrestling school there, the Harley Race Wrestling Academy, one of the top schools in the world, never mind the nation, is in the world. We do a lot of hard work there. We just got into a brand new building, which is right outside of St. Louis. It's called Troy, Missouri. It has 7,000 square feet of space in there. We have a video library. We have 2 wrestling rings. My dad's there often. We have video recorders for promos, promo practicing rooms, a shower, locker room. We have a dorm there, a kitchen area.
Wow, it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, just like dorms or dojos are in Japan. They have everything under one roof, and that's exactly what we have as well.
Yes, that's great. Now, where can people find information? Is there a website that they can go to for WLW?
Yeah, absolutely. The website you want to type in is www.harleyrace.com. My dad's name gives you information on him, World League Wrestling, the Harley Race Wrestling Academy, any and all things that are related to World League Wrestling in the Harley Race Academy and my dad. You'll be able to find on there. Also, Facebook, just search for World League Wrestling. Twitter is at World League WLW, and I don't keep up with a whole lot of social media crap, man. I wish I had the time, but I don't.
What, going back, if there was one opponent that your father wrestled throughout his career, and you could get into the ring against that guy, whoever it was in his prime, who's that? I think I know who it is, but who would that guy be?
Can I have two answers?
Okay, we'll give you two.
Yeah.
You can give five if you want.
Yeah. Definitely Jake the Snake, and obviously Ric Flair.
Yes, yeah.
Steamboat, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of very good wrestlers. Von Erichs, David, specifically, my dad always mentions that all of the Von Erichs were very good. Very good wrestlers. Yeah. And even to this day, he still mentions that. David, he said, was the quickest at it as far as picking it up. And obviously, that would be something cool too.
Current WWE guys that you would like to get in the ring against?
Current WWE guys.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, yes. Okay.
That,
couldn't resist.
I watch a little bit here and there. I try to, but I don't have as much time as people think I do.
Of course.
Cesaro, just from the stories that he tells and the different maneuvers that he does and how he pulls them off and how he into them, I'm infatuated with it. Those are probably the top two that I can.
What about TNA?
TNA?
Yeah.
I couldn't answer that, honestly. I don't regularly watch it, and it's no offense to them.
No, not at all.
Thursdays are every day's busy, but Thursdays are even more busier.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. And I also want to, first of all, how's your dad's health? We were going to talk about that at the beginning, and we didn't.
Yeah, my dad, he for everything that he's done in his career, for every shot in the head that he has taken, and every suplex on the floor, or when people reversed a power driver on the floor, and he ended up taking that. All that considered, he's doing pretty well for himself. He's a stubborn 71-year-old man.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I knew him when he was a stubborn 25-year-old man too.
He's doing pretty well. Obviously, he tells a lot of people every day that he has more hardware in his body than a tool shop, but. All that's because of what he did, and he regularly admits that he did it to himself, but he also wouldn't take it back for anything. And
I assume neither would you with what you're doing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Why would I be doing it if I wanted to take it back?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, by the way, I want to also plug that our good friends at Highspots, I understand, came down and visited you in St. Louis, Missouri, and they've done a real comprehensive interview with you as well. And you fans should go to highspots.com and check that out in a few months when that'll be ready to roll out and get some more information on Leland Race.
Absolutely.
Your brother Justin, who I knew when your dad used to bring him around to the matches, just catch us up real quickly on Justin as well.
Justin's doing pretty well for himself. He is trying to get into, I believe, advertising.
Okay, great.
Don't ask me what type of form because I don't know. But he's a very smart guy.
And but he didn't pursue this like you did.
No, believe it or not, in a way he did. He was actually a national champion.
I do remember that. Yes.
I was too. Wrestling is in the family.
Yeah.
I was a national champion at a 103-pound weight class. Way back in the day, but that's pretty much what he's up to now.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
29.
I love you saying way back in the day. You've been
in the heyday.
Leland Race, thank you so very much for being here on the Apter Chat, and we'd love to have you back again. And don't forget HarleyRace.com. You can find out everything about WLW and when all the shows are coming up. And there's nothing like getting out there to a live pro wrestling event where you can get up close and personal and come and say hello to this guy, following in the great tradition of the Race family, Leland Race. Leland, point your finger right into the camera here, as we always do. We'll see you at the